afternoon. Welcome to the Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Tom Gazzola, Reed Wilkins with you inside the EST Global HQ studios. Our dad Salas at the technical desk getting us off and running. And we're hope you're enjoying a happy Halloween. And I know it's a little bit dark and gloomy after an Oilers loss, and we will dissect it all after yesterday's collapse in the third period. You could text us, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. We want to hear from you. You've had about, 14 hours to digest, decompress, sleep on it, reflect. All that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of reflection, Tom.
I don't think your mic's on.
Okay.
I can't hear you. No. You check that, Maddie? You got it? Okay, we'll get to Reed in a second. Maybe we just don't want to hear from Reed. By the way, the Oil Stream brought to you by Boston Pizza.
Am I on now?
You're on now. From November 18th to the 22nd, participating locations, basically all of them in Edmonton. And then Northern Alberta, GP, Lloyd, all the way down to Olds. I think some in Calgary as well. From November 18th to 22nd, proceeds from pizza sales will go to the Ben Stelter Foundation, Reed.
That's awesome.
For a 5-day period.
That's awesome.
If you're in the mood for pizza and you usually go to another location or another restaurant, but you're like, you know what? I haven't had a BP pierogi pizza in a little bit. And I heard that proceeds from pizza sales during this 5-day stretch are going towards the Ben Stelter Foundation. It's going to a great cause. We'll go get one there. November 18th to 22nd. At Boston Pizza. All right, Reed Wilkins, his mic's up and running. Maddie got it. Yes, you sound great.
Oh, glad somebody does. No, wait, you do. I don't know what that means.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
You know what? You could say whatever you want.
You look like a trapper.
I am. I'm dressed like a trapper.
What year of uniform is that? Do you know what year that is from?
This is Scott Spezio, AJ Hinch, Eric Chavez,
AJ
Miguel
Hinch was
Tejada. Yeah.
Because he went on to manage.
Matt Stairs. Yeah, he was the...
Was he part of the Astros team?
Yes, he was the manager
team?
of that team.
He was the manager? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
This is that era. Shout out to City of Champs, Reed Clark and Sean Hill, City of Champs. Great stuff. This hat is also City of Champs. Now, this hat I'm wearing is not technically, it doesn't match the jersey. This is the black Matt Stairs, Eric Chavez, Miguel Tejada.
Okay.
Izzy Molina was the catcher.
Wow, how do you remember all that?
Because I went to so many of those games. I loved it.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I love this jersey. City of Champs, you can get it.ca. This hat is the old Trapper logo, which they had in the new colors for, I think, a year or two, but this is just the black and white version.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you look good.
Thank you.
You look quite incredible.
I'm not overly into the Halloween spirit today with this, but it's something. Better than nothing.
Yeah, I will have a bit of a costume unveiled at 3 o'clock. Excellent. It's really going to be more of a performance-centric thing,
okay.
and Jay and I will not be doing it for the entire show.
Okay.
It'll be...
well, JD Martinez was here for the hangout. That was something.
That was amazing that he did that for the entire hangout.
Owned it.
I was very surprised that he was able to pull that off.
I think he was surprised, too, afterwards. We talked. We also decompressed on that one. Anyway. You've had some time to digest yesterday's 4-3 collapse to the Rangers.
I certainly have, Tom.
Tell me more about it. I know they got the point. You and I went through the rule book on what constitutes a 4-minute double minor. They should have called it. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I just think that the Oilers are, and I've said this before, I think they're a very bland hockey team.
Okay.
I don't think they're overly entertaining to watch. I don't think they play with a lot of spirit. I don't think they play with a lot of passion. I don't think that at the moment they think that it is in their... It's almost like they think it is beneath them to work hard for the entire game. And then obviously, you have some poor or questionable individual performances with, Evan Bouchard leading the way. So they're 5-4-3, very mediocre record. That is on pace for an 88-point season. Now I know a couple wins in a row, or can change that drastically at this time of year. I mean, last year they went to overtime or a shootout 13 times, and they won 9 of those games.
Mm-hmm.
They've already lost 3 out of 4 games that have gone past 60 minutes, so that trend hasn't been able to continue from last year. They're just not making, the big play at the right time, whether it's a responsible defensive play or a clear or a pass or finishing a chance or breaking up a play or getting a key save. So, they're obviously not getting blown out. Most of their losses have been, 3 obviously have been in overtime or a shootout and, a goal or 2, but there are reasons that they are losing. And I think that it was encouraging what was said on Tuesday night, mostly by Ekholm, where he said enough is enough. Put the work boots on. And then they didn't do that for the entire game against the Rangers, who aren't exactly a work boot team themselves, I don't think.
You and I noted that last night.
Yeah,
watching the game.
Of course it's the NHL. There's still body checking and forechecking and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say the Rangers are an overly interested team in paying the price for a victory. But when you feed them on the turnovers and they can take it the other way and score, then they're gonna do that. It was, and I said this. I always do a little Twitter post after the game. There were some good things by the Oilers, but it wasn't a thorough enough performance. So I meant that in terms of it wasn't a sort of a 60-minute game, and then it wasn't thorough enough and just sort of playing that hard game. I'm going to be sure. I'm going to make the smart play. I rightfully so. There's a lot of criticism of Bouchard.
Well, I was going to say,
Wallman's been very good since he came back. You can't pinch in the neutral zone like
correct.
that.
He got caught. That was bad.
His shot didn't get through. I think he hit his own guy.
Yeah.
And then you got to get back and make sure it's a 2-on-2. Risk reward, right? If Wallman gets that puck, well, it's already been cleared. Like you're not keeping it in.
Mm-hmm.
So the reward is limited. The risk is that you give up a 2-on-1, and that it happened.
And he didn't get a save.
And then
you got one save, and then the rebound
in overtime. Yeah, and then in overtime, just completely. I watched it several times again this morning. You can go back and forth on who to blame, Bouchard or Draisaitl.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't read well off each other, and the closer Miller got to the net, you could sort of see. He's mine. No, yours. No. Because Leon, Bush could have come right over.
He should have.
But then he thought Leon was catching up to him, it looked like. And then Leon was almost caught up to him. And it looked like Leon was about to slash his stick and then saw Bush. And then neither one did anything. And Miller, who actually was quite wider than I remembered watching it live, just cut in front and scored. So, you gotta take some initiative here. Like somebody... It's almost as if somebody needs to take the responsibility and say, okay, guys, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to be sure who's with me.
That was supposed to be Tuesday night between the first and second period. That was supposed to be it. Rattle the cage, wake up,
right?
Get in line, do your job. And it lasted for 4 periods, Reed.
Yeah, kind of. The first 2 periods weren't great.
Yeah, but they had the lead.
They had the lead,
enough.
and they did enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just disappointing that this is, and I was talking to somebody last night who covers every game like you and I do, and they said they're going to be fine. It's early season.
I believe
this is what they do.
Yeah.
This isn't 3-9-1 or whatever it was.
2-9-1.
What he fired a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They were saying that this is different. People need to calm down. And I get that, but this is all we have to talk about right now.
Sure.
So, by the standards, and I thought this team might struggle. I didn't think that they would struggle in this manner, though, that there's these large periods of sort of disinterest. I thought they might have some players who struggle this. And look, last night, Podkolzin and Roslovic combined for, was it 11 shots on goal?
I thought that line was actually really good with Leon Draisaitl.
Where Podkolzin had 5 shots on net. Oh, Roslovic had 2, my mistake. So they combined for 7 shots on goal. So Podkolzin had some chances, but he doesn't finish.
Right.
And then Roslovic I guess, he is playing better. So we'll see where it goes with him. So I thought it would be more like, okay, they're going to have some guys who work hard, but they just can't finish chances because of their talent or their inexperience.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this last night, instead, I mean, that is maybe part of the issue. I mean, Podkolzin had a couple of good looks you would like to be finished. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's McDavid, even though he gets points, doesn't look like McDavid. Draisaitl's intermittent. Ekholm's first 9 or 10 games weren't very good. Nurse's first 9 or 10 games weren't very good.
Good last night.
Bouchard, most of his, again, it's so up and down, and
he's had a
mistakes are too
awful
severe.
season. Let's just
so
say
there's of the main characters on this team, Nuge has probably been the steadiest.
Yep.
But I mean, he still has a pretty big minus.
Yeah.
Too. So yeah, it's not good. It's discouraging, and yeah, they're not fun. Like, they're not dynamic. They're not. Let's go steal the candy from the kid down the block.
Push him.
Don't do that.
Push
tonight,
him down too.
Don't do that tonight.
Please
by the
don't
way.
do that tonight.
Well, if it's like a bigger, older kid, then you can take his candy.
Yeah, if you can get it. Okay, lots of texts have come in. 780-218-9999. You can get to the nasty chat as well. We're breaking down last night's loss. Where are the Oilers at right now? 5-4-3 to close out the month of October. That's through 12 games. They get the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night at Rogers Place to kick off November. You said it. The big guys have been, I think, a disappointment might be a bit harsh, but they haven't been up to snuff enough. I'm sorry for rhyming. I apologize. Now, Speck wrote an article and he called Evan Bouchard the elephant. And, he talked about how in the locker room, guys don't want to sewer their teammates. And so that's a reference to the elephant in the room. Everybody knows Bouchard is having huge struggles defensively. Offensively, he hasn't been as good as we've seen in previous seasons, although he's been a bit more effective lately offensively. But still, it has been a detriment to the team. If Wallman didn't pinch, if Bouchard didn't make an 85-foot cross-ice pass at the blue line, Brodzinski's not going in on a breakaway, which Stu Skinner can't stop. Skinner struggles on breakaways, obviously. We know that. We're not going to just, push that aside. We'll acknowledge it. The miscommunication or lack of initiative on the overtime goal is another thing. The power play, not being able to convert early in the third period or in overtime is an issue. I think that falls on all 5 guys on that power play unit more than just Evan Bouchard. But Speck just said, essentially, it's a very good article. It's critical. It points out the trials and tribulations of Evan Bouchard this season. And, the guys in the room aren't going to say his name. They're not going to say, well, Evan gave away 3 pucks today that led to goals directly. They're not going to say that. They said turnovers were bad. Draisaitl got kind of ornery and said, "What? I said it already. 3 turnovers." He had. I'm paraphrasing, but he referenced it. But Speck's right. Like, there is no repercussion for poor play and consistently poor play and continually making terrible lapses in judgment with the puck through the first month of the season. And, Speck pointed out Darnell Nurse got sat for 5-6 minutes to start the second period against Utah. But we really haven't seen, outside of Bouchard being taken off of power play 1, for I think 1 power play on the road, on that road trip, the 5-gamer. He has not been penalized for consistently making egregious errors. And that's fair. I know people last night, Reed, were saying, sit him, put him in the press box. They're not going to do that.
Probably not.
They're not going to do that. I mean, I don't disagree with that thought and idea and be like, hey, man, if you're going to keep effing up, press box right there. We got a guy that's going to make the right play. He might not be as talented as you, but we've got him waiting. He sits out every night, but you keep messing up and costing this team points, you're going to have to watch. I agree with that principle. But $10.5 million, 70 to 80 point defenseman, they're not going to do it.
I'd be very surprised if they did it. I mean, Knobloch, well, I think most coaches coach towards a player's strengths. Like, go be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's hoping that we're just going to see the good Bouchard eventually for a game or most of a game, but it hasn't been there. I mean, like I said last night, I don't know if Bouchard is capable of playing without the egregious turnovers as often as they happen. You know, like
why can't you get him to clean it up?
I don't know.
Why can't you say, if you keep doing this, you're not playing? Why can't you do that?
Well, they can.
They should.
Well, will that? Here's my question. Will that make him improve? I guess we don't know till it possibly happens.
But then all of a sudden, one day he wakes up mid-season, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can't fire a soft pass across the middle. I'm going to put it deep." Or, "Oh, that's my guy. I'm the closest defender to him. I should take away the lane.
Skate a little faster." Yeah.
Yeah. It's
weird how I don't know, Tom.
He has an awakening every season at a certain point later on.
Yeah,
after a good chunk of games have been played.
And he still makes mistakes when he plays better, but they seem to be spaced out.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I don't know. Like, I get the frustration. There's obviously an upside there.
Yeah, of course.
But it's pretty maddening that it's just all these early season stumbles again when they should be better. And with a team, with some younger players on the team, I guess I keep talking about Howard and Savoy, and Tomashik is not younger, but he's new to the NHL, and with some new guys to the roster, like Mangiapane and a couple other guys, new Oilers, you would think the veteran guys would be, well, we really got to show them how it works here. Like, we don't mess around.
Yeah.
Like, somebody told me a story once. Who was it? Was it Clark Gillies? It was one of the Islanders dynasty guys. Went to the Buffalo Sabres after the Islanders had played. This must have been a story from a book or something.
Okay.
Was it? I can't remember who it was. But he went and played for Buffalo. And Buffalo kind of early 80s was pretty mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had a couple good teams in the 70s, obviously, with the big line.
French connection.
And the story goes that they played a period, the first regular season period, and this former Islander guy stands up and says, "I don't know how you guys have been taught, but where I come from, nobody leaves the zone until the puck does." And he sits down. Like, you think that would be like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
like,
they won.
You want to, like, and he's kind of not yelling at everybody. He's not threatening everybody. He's just kind of saying, I was on a team that won 4 Stanley Cups. This is one of our principles. If you guys want to do it, fine.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it, fine. We'll all lose. I'll do it. Maybe a few of you will do it the quote unquote the right way. I kind of hate that saying sometimes. But,
I know what you mean.
But it's almost like, somebody, and maybe it was said after that first period against Utah, needs to say, like, hey guys, we're the Oilers. We don't give the puck away in the neutral zone. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here, but when the puck is once we get the puck outside of our blue line, it will wind up in the other team's end of the rink. Whether we carry it in or shoot it in, it will wind up beneath their icing line.
Yeah.
So they have to go 200 feet with it.
It's a simple premise.
But again, the big guys
they're the ones
often
making
the ones
mistakes.
guilty of not getting the puck into that situation or turning it over, which is counterintuitive to the way we think it should be. But it appeared somebody, maybe Ekholm, maybe somebody else, stood up after the first period. And obviously, Knobloch came in and gave them that stat. Like, you guys are embarrassing. I don't know if he said that, but he obviously was trying to embarrass them. You just turned it over 16 times in the neutral zone. We can live with 2 or 3. That's sort of normal hockey. But who's going out there and then living that? And again, even the Wallman play. That's sort of a variation of what I'm saying. Like, where I come from, we don't gamble and give up a 2-on-1. Like, live it then.
Yeah.
Like, live it. If that's the team you want to be, at some point you have to live it.
You and I remarked he was actually having a good game. until that point.
Yeah, he's mostly played well.
Mostly well.
He's over a point a game now,
Yes.
I believe, right? So
he makes more good
pass,
than bad plays.
Yeah, Wallman does. Great pass to Nurse.
Yeah.
And I realize Wallman's not the biggest culprit at all this. I'm just using that play as an example.
Well, it led to a goal against.
You don't pinch there.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's a forward coming back, hey, okay. I'll try to keep the puck alive. Maybe we can keep him hand in. But they're like with nobody back, what are you doing? Even the 3-on-3 goal. I know 3-on-3 hockey is different. So Leon tries this weird stick check at the center dot.
He was playing in the Briar
with nobody
sweeping hard.
And he wasn't even close to getting Miller. If he skates straight back towards his own net, it's a 2-on-2, and then Connor comes back for back pressure. Instead, Leon sweeps his stick, doesn't know where Miller's even going, and
to the net.
And again, who do you want to blame, Bouchard or Draisaitl? Well, they both misread it in my mind. But somebody has to take away that lane to the net. So again, I guess you can say in 3-on-3 overtime, the reward for Leon is him and Connor get a 2-on-1 if he knocks that puck off Miller's stick. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's Miller handling the puck.
He wasn't close, though.
Yeah, and it's not Booger McBoogerton handling the puck.
I know Booger.
You know, like it's a really good player. So he sweeps check him, takes himself out of the lane he should have been in, and then Bouchard is like, "Oh, is Leon coming back? Am I guarding the pass?" And then they both start to go to Miller, and then both stop. So it's these brain cramp plays. It's these plays of not being thorough.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're going to get beat, make it difficult for the other team to beat you.
Yes.
They're not doing that.
780-218-9999. It is the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. Tom Gazzola, Reed Wilkins with you. What say you? We want to hear from you. Of course, we're inside the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios. Popeyes, delicious if you're looking for a quick meal. Check out their blackened chicken, no breading, all flavor. They have it on the chicken sandwich, the chicken wrap, as well as the tendies. I love a good blackened chicken. And then they have the big sauce drop. They've got the Cajun gravy now. They also have spicy dipping sauce and probably my favorite, Chipotle barbecue. I love anything Chipotle and I love anything barbecue. And if you mix those two, absolutely tremendous. Popeye's Hot Ones promo is still going. They've got the spicy and the hot. If you're really into like spicy, then jump on the hot ones. All right. I'm going to get to some text here, Reed.
Please do.
Okay, I will. This one says, I hate to say it, but Janmark might actually help this lineup. They are a bad forechecking team with Hyman and Janmark back in. Hopefully it starts to drag the rest of the team into the fight, so to speak, and get some legs moving with a bit of energy. So we can be encouraged by Zach Hyman coming back soon. It won't be November 1st. It won't be tomorrow. I think they said, another week about that?
I would now guess it'll be next Saturday.
Okay.
But I'm just speculating, everybody, because they play Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, and then they don't play again until Saturday.
Right. Next week is a weird one with the back-to-backs. Janmark, I can give you a little bit of an update. I did provide it last night on the post-game show if you didn't catch it. They don't have like a timeline, a firm one for him. He's dealing with a shoulder issue, sounds like. And it's been something that has been nagging him for a while. But he was on the ice yesterday, which was encouraging, and so too was Alec Regula, which is good. Because, I mean, God bless Troy Stetcher, and he gives you everything he can, but there's something to be desired there. The forecheck thing, though, I think is a good point by the texter. Get the puck deep, establish the cycle, maintain possession, wear them down.
Yeah.
It's a simple theory. It's been tried and true in hockey for decades and decades and decades. They don't really do it, this Oilers team, at least so far this season. That's something I've noticed. Like, a couple of years, for the last few years, they really did a good job of, you'd hear about their puck possession metrics. And to me, that is a great analytic. I love that. Zone time, possession time. I think that's a great tell. Yeah. So to those that say, Tommy, you hate analytics. No. Just some of them I think are ridiculous, but there are some that have huge value, in my opinion. Again, it's just my opinion. But it feels like they're not maintaining puck possession to the same effectiveness that they had in years past, Reed.
No, they're not a busy team in the neutral zone.
I love that.
They don't create, and I think this is why some people have said to me, well, they're kind of boring to watch. They're kind of dull. Mm-hmm. Like they're not active around the net. they're not, okay, there's 3-4 good shifts in a row where they hemmed people in and worked hard and made some crisp passes and got the puck to the net. Or even if they don't score, you're like, oh man, like they're pushing it. They're all over the other team.
Yeah, we don't call them a team that's buzzing this year.
No, not at all. Very, very, very seldom. What are they? Now, I know this is not everybody's cup of tea. Their Corsi is exactly 50%. So that's shot attempts 5-on-5.
Right.
5-on-5 goals for and against. They are -3, 26-23. So that's not great. And now their 5-on-5 save percentage, which as recently as about 10 days ago was, I think, 9th or 10th in the NHL, is now 24th.
Yeah, it's fallen. Took a big hit.
At, what is it at here? Now it's at 890, 5-on-5 save percentage. So the 3-on-3 overtime goal wouldn't count in that.
Right.
And those shorthanded goals they gave up on the road trip wouldn't count. That's strictly 5-on-5.
Okay, there's a lot of texts that have come in. I want to get to some opinions from our listeners and viewers. Keep them coming in. Han Shorkoff says, why did Leon let him blow right by him in the neutral zone? That goal is 90% Leon, 10% Bouchard. And I'm assuming we're talking about overtime here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd put it closer
Because he made a mistake.
I put it closer to 50-50. I mean...
No, I actually think it's more on Leon the more I watched it. Yes.
Why isn't, like, listen, I know Evan said he was covering the pass, but it's overtime. It's 3-on-3. It's a little bit of street hockey where you got to go take away that lane from JT Miller.
Oh, I agree.
Both of those guys look like they're afraid to engage JT
I
Miller.
agree. But if Leon's going to make that sweep check and miss, then he has to skate back hard
Instead
at
of
an angle to cut off Miller.
Right. I'm not putting it at 90%.
Or he has to point to Bouch and say, okay, you go over there now. I'll take this other guy.
But clearly,
like they miscommunicated. They're not thorough. This is what I'm saying. They're not thorough. They're not detailed.
This one says, Knobloch, I don't always love his lineup decisions, but maybe he is some hockey system savant, but I think he's out of his league when it comes to accountability and standing up to players. Need some fire from him sometime, please. The accountability and fire. The fire thing, I think his guys are motivated enough. You hear some things, you see like some behind the scenes video every now and then. I think he does provide a little bit of a spark. The accountability thing, Reed, like he talked about it last night, but he ain't doing it.
Yep.
That one is 100%.
Well, he hasn't done it with
anybody.
Bouchard.
He hasn't really done it with anybody. He doesn't. The only guys that really sit are fourth liners and third liners.
Right, yeah.
And then
those
the
guys get
third
limited
pair
time.
and seventh defenseman when they go 11-7. The key guys or regular players, they don't sit. They don't get penalized. They know they screw up. You're back out there 2 shifts. Like it's okay. Just don't do that next time. Well, I did it again, coach. That's okay. Don't do that next time. I did it again, coach. I'm sorry.
Right.
At some point, it's like, hey, well, you're not going out there. I can't trust you.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question.
No.
To everybody.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Now, I want to say to something that I don't, if I were to be asked this question by somebody else, my answer would be no. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm not putting this out there as this is an idea Reed Wilkins has, but I want to ask the question because just to make people think, and maybe somebody will say like, oh no, Reed, I actually agree with you or agree with that. What if the coaching staff, whether it's Knobloch or whoever, thinks Evan Bouchard is making the right play and the Rangers just made better plays to steal the puck?
I would think that is ridiculous. To me, that sounds stupid. It's a hypothetical.
Yes. And I don't think that's the case because like that cross-ice pass at the blue line, I went back and watched a bunch of stuff this morning. Like Brodzinski was lurking for that.
Yeah. And it wasn't a hard pass either.
The play in the third period, I mean, he was flipping the puck to get it past the guy, and there was an order there ready to receive the pass. So, I mean, you could argue there, well, a Ranger guy had to knock the puck out of the air, so it's a good play. But if he just slaps it hard off the boards too, that also would have worked.
It was kind of a light chip.
So I hate to say, but what?
Stick.
But what if the coaches break these down and say, okay, that those actually weren't so bad? I doubt that's what they're thinking.
No,
Knobloch's talked about
I would
turnovers
counter with,
too.
if the idea and the concept, and you had the right idea and concept in mind and the intention to make the right play is there, I'll acknowledge that. But executing it is a total fail.
Right. And at this level, you still have to execute.
Yeah. That's usually what puts you over the top.
Yeah.
The team that executes better on the system and the concept that the team puts in place usually turns into a win.
But this was the whole Paul Coffey thing, though. Nobody turned the puck over more than I did. And I just tell guys, go out there and keep trying to make a play. Don't get upset about missing a play. Like, what if this is
hockey now? Listen, that's fair. Paul Coffey, great guy, great player, has a great mind for the game, obviously. But the systems that exist in hockey today, compared to back then when it was more up and down the ice, slap the puck ahead type of game, the systems that are in place today are more intricate. The players are more skilled, and the mistakes you make wind up in the back of your net more often than not. And so I understand that concept, and in theory it makes sense, but at the same time it's like, yeah, but if, Paul, you made 8 turnovers in a game and 6 of them ended up behind Grant Fuhr, Andy Moog, Bill Ranford, whoever.
Right.
I don't know if you're getting out there for that extra shift that you should, even though you're the most talented.
I can't remember if Paul Coffey ever got benched.
I don't know. I remember him as a Hartford Whaler, Carolina Hurricane, Boston Bruin, Chicago Blackhawk, and I think Flyer briefly, and Red Wing. I don't remember. Maybe King too. I don't remember him as an Oiler. He got traded when
you don't remember Coffey?
I was one.
You wouldn't, eh?
I was 1 when he had his dispute and got traded to Pittsburgh.
I remember him.
I don't even remember him in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I do.
I was like 5.
I'm old.
When he won he won 1 cup there, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think he was gone for their second one.
Yeah. Anyway,
or no?
Did he win both?
Or maybe I gotta look now. Hang on.
Yeah, look it up. Anyway, I understand the principle and the theory of what that Paul Coffey quote. I get it.
Yeah, he won the first cup with the Penguins.
And got traded to Detroit.
And got traded to L.A.
L.A.
for Brian Benning and Jeff Chikrin.
Brian Benning, nice guy.
Edmonton, Pittsburgh, L.A., Detroit, Hartford, Philadelphia, Chicago, Carolina, Boston. That was the progression.
Yeah.
10 games with Chicago.
Yeah.
18 with Boston.
Yeah. Awesome guy, too. Hilarious, too. Really, really liked spending time around him.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just the way control of the puck is like of the utmost importance in the game.
Yeah.
When you give it away so egregiously and in high danger areas, I don't think that quote from him resonates as much as it may have in the past.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No.
Let's go to another text.
Yeah, please do.
780-218-9999. Tom and Reed with you on the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. This one says, as frustrating as this start is, and I was pissed off last night, I think we should all relax just a little. This is what this team has done over and over. They get off to slow starts. They figure it out. We're not even that far back from first in the Pacific. 2 points, by the way. So I think we need to wait until they are healthy before we completely write them off. Nobody should write them off. That's another thing, too. It's just, I think there's a frustration with how they have lost these games and essentially pissed away these points when you know they're capable of better. We've witnessed it last year, the year before, in brief moments this season.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened to the guys that played Tuesday from the second on? What happened to that team that beat the hottest team in the league?
Yeah. Well, and there's no, I guess the 2-goal leads aren't safe.
No.
I mean, twice on home ice, the Oilers have blown a 2-goal lead. It was 3 against the Flames, was it not?
Yeah, it was.
And lost in overtime or a shootout.
Yes.
Now, having said that, the Oilers had a comeback against the Canadians, come back from an early deficit against Utah, come back to get a point against Vancouver. So maybe it's all balanced out in the end. But yeah, two goal lead on home ice with a power play in the first minute of the third period.
Yeah.
You would like to think you could preserve that
and put it away.
And a power play in overtime. Yeah. It was probably bad enough that they allowed the Rangers to get a point out of that game.
Right.
And then the Rangers got 2. And I was rewatching the highlights, and there was on the power play in overtime. Puck went down low to Nugent Hopkins. He passed it quickly into the slot for McDavid, who looked over to Draisaitl and then stopped and handled the puck and then shot.
Yeah.
And then by that time, Shesterkin is set. If he fires it quickly, he might have a chance to beat him past the glove. So again, this is the thing. McDavid, I know he still gets points. He's not making the same caliber of plays he usually makes.
Right. Very conservative.
And I know he got 6 shots last night, but it didn't seem like that.
Yeah. Eddie texting and says, Reed and Tommy, what are your thoughts on Ingram? Send one of Skinner, wave him or picks to Bakersfield, bring up Ingram. I read this last night, Eddie, after Reed was done. Eddie says, do you guys think Ingram's ready to jump in? I think his record is like 1-1-1.
Yeah, I don't know.
Off the top of my head. I did say this. I answered this one last night, but Eddie, I think, different audience today, probably. And Keith Gretzky was there last night, just listening to him talk about Ingram. I don't think, as of right now, from what Keith was indicating, that the plan to get Ingram up to Edmonton is imminent.
Well, logic would dictate to me that he would have to play quite well in the minors and have several games under his belt before he got a chance in Edmonton.
Yeah.
He's 1-1-1 in Bakersfield with a 3.67 goals against average and an 871 save percentage. Now, I haven't watched those games. And I also think if Connor Ingram were to get a chance with the Oilers and Pickard and Skinner were both healthy, they would not send a goalie down.
Right.
They would carry 3 goalies until they decided what to do.
Who to keep.
I would think.
Cut bait on, yeah.
So it is interesting that Ingram is there. Certainly Skinner's last 2 or 3 games has now opened the door to this conversation again because he was doing pretty well.
Yep.
The first few games of the season, and now we're seeing more. And again, with Stu, we talked about this a lot last year. To me, anyway, it's not that he lets in bad goals; he just doesn't make enough saves.
Yeah.
And I guess you can say this these last couple games. The save percentage thing, the 3-on-3 overtime goal, craters his save percentage last night because it was over 900.
34 shots, 30 saves last night.
Right. So it was over 900, and then they score 3-on-3 on a breakaway, and it goes down. So, I think you got to keep a close eye on Ingram. Obviously, his first 3 games, the stats don't look good. Again, without seeing the games. But he was brought in to compete. He's going to compete. If he's good, if he's playing well, that he should get a shot to be in the NHL.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I think if Skinner and Pickard are not doing what the Oilers want, I don't think Ingram gets called up automatically if he's struggling in the A.
Yeah.
I think then they would look elsewhere.
It's a good way to put it. I want to go to this one. Out of the 807. Oh, what area code is that?
Well, let's find out.
Oh, it's Mike in Thunder Bay. Hey, Mike in Thunder Bay. He tagged his text. Thank you.
Northwestern Ontario.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Good to hear from Mike in Thunder Bay. Mike says, hey, Tom. Hey, Reed. I have the pleasure to listen to you guys live. I think you guys do a good job. But as I texted in last night, it feels like I've heard this show before time and time again. You guys are forced to talk about the same mistakes, the same lazy play, the same culprits. I feel really bad for you guys. It must be extra frustrating for you guys to talk about like a broken record. This is not your fault. This is the team. When will they learn? They keep saying they are a mature team, but they keep refusing to show us they actually are. Anyway, go Jays. Happy Halloween. Mike in Thunder Bay. Hey, good to hear from you, Mike. I don't get... it is the same. Like a lot of the problems that cost them points in games are the same. I don't get that frustrated. Like last night, I was annoyed because you think about it, but I love talking about it. That's part of the story of the season, and I love that every year in sports and in hockey in particular. So I don't get tired of it. I'll get fired up like I did a little bit last night, but I don't know, Reed. Like, it is the same culprits, and we are talking about the same thing, and say, why can't they figure it out, and what's the solution? I still enjoy talking about it, man.
Well, a few things there. That's a good text. Mike from Thunder Bay, of course, the Thunder Bay Bombers, 2005 Allen Cup champions in Lloydminster, upsetting Theo Fleury and the Horse Lake Thunder 7-5 in the semifinal.
Were you there?
Then beating Montmagny out of Quebec 4-3 in overtime in the final. First of all, yeah, don't feel bad for us. It's our job.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I learned quickly when you're doing talk radio, repetition is part of the job.
Absolutely.
As much as we would like to think everybody listens all day, not everybody. I mean, when I worked at a talk radio station, like in the afternoon, they do the weather every 10 minutes.
Yep.
Because they got to realize some people are just getting in their car, tuning in for the weather.
That's right.
So don't worry about that. But in terms of talking about a team that's struggling, I would think that there are fundamental things in any sport that get talked about. So, baseball's big right now. Bad baseball teams make too many errors or don't move runners along into scoring position successfully. Mm-hmm. So, those things would get, football. What is a turnover ratio? Turnover ratio. I've been watching. I used to watch the, Don Whitman and Ron Lancaster call games before Lancaster coached here. And
Chris Walby took over in the booth.
I can't remember who back. Well, when I was a kid, Friday Night Football was on CTV. I think Pat Marsden might have been the host.
Oh, wow.
Did Chevrier do the play-by-play? Don Chevrier? Because he also did Blue Jays.
Is he related to Randy Chevrier? Would he be?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember as a little kid, like, don't turn over the ball. Like, the stats show whoever turns the ball over more usually loses 80% of the time. Mm-hmm. So there are fundamental things in any sport that usually add up to a loss. So yeah, I get that. With the Oilers, we talk about some of the same things we've talked about other times they've struggled. But that's just the nature of hockey. I'm sure
it's a soap opera. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is with this Oilers team is that there should be the talent and the experience. Now, not as much experience as the last 2 years.
Good point.
But there should be the talent and the experience to be avoiding some of these big errors. I said this to you the other day, or I can't remember if it was to you or with Jay. Like, you got to look at the context. If the Oilers last year had finished 28th overall, had like 26 wins, and they were now 5-4-3, I'd be like, this is great. Like, look at what they're doing. Like, they came back and beat the Montreal Canadiens 6-5. They walked into MSG and got a shutout.
Yep.
They had a 3-1 lead last night. They just got to learn how to finish. But they still got a point, and they just got to learn how to score that power play goal in overtime. Like, if this were a building team,
it'd be encouraging.
We probably wouldn't be talking about the
spot.
We would say, well, they have problems, but it's part of the process. The problem is they've been through the crappy part of the process.
Yep.
And I'm not saying you should never have a bad game or never lose, but again, like it's past 10% of the season now, and it's well, la-di-da. La-di-da. And this is what I said. I said this after Ekholm made those comments, not to him, obviously, but on shows, that, yes, the playoffs are different. As one of our colleagues said last night, they very well could be fine and could be a playoff team. And I've gotten the messages from the listeners saying, Reed, it doesn't matter what their seeding is. Last year they're third. They don't have home ice advantage. They still beat LA. They still beat Vegas. They still beat Dallas. But I also think, I think that's fine. The playoffs are a different beast, but there still has to be a baseline level of performance in the regular season to win games. Like, I remember Luke Gazdick said to me once in one of our segments, he said, like, it is so hard just to win one regular season game in the NHL. Like, you have to put in so much effort and work so hard and hope for some bounces along the way. Like, just to win one game is really difficult. And the Oilers aren't showing I hate to say commitment, but I kind of do think it's commitment. Like, they aren't showing.
If you don't have commitment, you have a lack of consistency. And when you have a lack of consistency, you make mistakes. One thing they do consistently is make mistakes.
Right.
So it's okay to say that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, where is just that baseline where even if they struggle or lose a couple games in a row, you can say, well, you know what? They did a lot of the right things. Power plays in a slump. Or, man, Connor had 6 shots on goal and they were all dangerous. Those are going to start going in.
Right.
instead it's kind of like, well, that 3-minute section was good, and then they disappeared, or
they kind of did whatever.
or they did this, and then they disappeared, or then this guy threw the puck away.
Yeah, they didn't touch the puck for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
there.
so that, but I mean, again, to Mike, I mean, that's just the discussion about teams that are struggling.
Bones chiming in. Bones says, "What do you mean, not Tom and Reed's fault? I blame them."
Well, I've been blamed for a lot over the years. So I just accept it after a while.
Yeah, no, that's fine. AJ in Montreal texting and says, "I've been watching the Condors. Ingram is just okay." Yeah, you know what? It is going to take him some time. It's going to take him some time. He didn't have a training camp, went through the player rehabilitation program, and yeah, I don't know if he's going to.
I think
see peak Ingram for a while.
They don't want to put him in a bad situation in Edmonton.
Right. And he's got to build up his mental state of mind again, get into the zone. And
yeah.
The Condors did lose to the Colorado Eagles, pardon me. 2-1 the other night. It was Matt Tompkins in net. Just want to note that. So I don't know.
Colorado Eagles.
Yeah.
Coached by
Todd Nelson?
Mark Letestu.
That's right. You told me to get a Mark Letestu jersey yesterday. I respect that idea. Will I execute on it?
Somebody type Letestu's AJHL team in the nasty chat, please, just to make me happy.
I told you Lee Letestu skates with us on Fridays sometimes.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's still a good player, too. Good guy. Very similar to Mark. It's like they're brothers. Weird, right?
Imagine that.
We're going to get to the numbers game brought to you by Play Alberta, our good partners, presenting partners, and sponsors of EST. I'll just look ahead to next week. We'll keep it simple for the numbers game. So they have this game tomorrow against the Hawks. Then next week is kind of light. It's interesting because it's been pretty consistent.
Well, they
busy.
finally get a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
I mean, they have had a busy schedule.
Yeah.
And I mean, they did play 8 games in 8 different cities, and I did acknowledge, maybe that does have an effect after a while.
So Saturday at home to Chicago, then they hit the road Sunday and take on the Blues Monday, off to Dallas the next day to take on the Stars. Then they don't have anything Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then it's the Avalanche next Saturday. They do not play on Sunday. They've had back-to-back games Saturday, Sunday for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
That's different too. Columbus is here on the 10th, then they hit the road out east for a 6-gamer. Philly, Columbus.
No, that's the 7-gamer.
7-gamer, pardon me.
That's a 2-win road trip. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, come on, you pessimist.
Why would it? What?
They can't turn it around in the next 2 weeks? With all that time off?
Calling a 2-win road trip.
Oh, Philly, Columbus, back-to-back nights, Wednesday, Thursday. They go to Carolina on the Saturday. That's the 15th. Then they're in Buffalo, Monday the 17th. Back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday games. Washington, Tampa. That's going to be a tough one. And then they close out the road trip out east, the 7-gamer, in Florida on the 22nd. 1 game at home on the 25th. Then back on the road to close out the month against Seattle. That's a 2:00 start on that Saturday.
Yeah,
so
I said this earlier in the preseason that I thought they had a difficult schedule early in the season with that 5-game road trip home for one.
Too.
More road games coming up.
Okay.
I mean, they're gonna need to climb once it gets into December in the second half of the season.
All right. So here's the over/under for Play Alberta today.
Ooh,
you got excited there.
Yep.
So these 4 games, you're going to bookend it with Saturday dates at home. Sandwich in St. Louis and Dallas on the road. Over under 2.5 wins.
Under.
How many?
I don't know. They'll lose in St. Louis. I would like to think they'll beat Chicago. Sometimes they play a surprising good game in Dallas. I'll go 2 just so people don't think I'm being a poo-poo head about everything. I'll go beat Chicago, lose St. Louis, stun Dallas somehow, and then lose at home next Saturday to the Avalanche.
All right. So the over-under on the numbers game for these next 4, where they go at home to Chicago, back-to-back St. Louis, Dallas, and then close out next week at home to Colorado. Reed's going under 2.5 wins. I'll be optimistic and say over. They surprise people. They wake up, hopefully. Beat Chicago, lose to St. Louis, beat Dallas, beat Colorado. So I'll take 3 wins in these next 4. And that's being optimistic. And not being a poo-poo head, as someone just said.
Who's in goal tomorrow, do you think?
I think you go to Pickard.
I'd go Skinner tomorrow.
You would?
Yes. You got to see how he can do. Keep playing him. I mean, if you're trying to still find out.
Well, he's going to play 2 of the 3 games next week, or at least he should.
Yes, that's fine. Go Skinner tomorrow. Pickard Monday against the Blues. Stu in Dallas.
Stu plays good against Dallas. I'd go Pickard tomorrow.
I would not. I would come back with Skinner.
Okay. Well, we'll find out when they practice. They practiced at noon today.
I think it's a very limited participation once again.
So tomorrow we'll probably get a full pull on the morning skate, and we'll have a better idea of what's going on. Let's see if there's a couple of texts that slid in late. Dazzler getting in there says, regarding your schedule, aren't they done with the East teams by Christmas?
Road games.
Eastern road games.
Yeah, not home games. Yes. Yeah. I believe the last game in the Eastern time zone is Boston right before Christmas. I get a double. Yeah, it is kind of a strange schedule.
It is.
But again, I think a difficult schedule, and I think it's one that's going to contribute to them not having a great record through the first 25 games or so.
They're essentially done half the road schedule by the end of November. They've had a 5-game road trip. They have a 7-game road trip. Next month, of all the games, they have 2, 9, 10 road games next month.
Yeah, they'll play games in the Central time zone after Christmas, but no more in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
I know somebody out there is thinking, until the Stanley Cup final, Reed. Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so they played 7 road games. They'll have 17 road games. No, they'll basically be on half their road schedule by the end of November, just under. That's wild.
Yeah. Well,
hey now.
7-game trip, man.
Yep.
That's going to be tough.
That will be tough. Rick, what's coming up today on the Reed Wilkins Show?
Rick Ball, play-by-play voice for the Chicago Blackhawks. He did the Flames games for a long time, right?
He did the Flames for a long time. Now it's Johnny Abbott. Johnny Abbott's also a great guy, great broadcaster as well.
We'll talk, of course, about the Blue Jays. We'll talk about the CFL playoffs that start tomorrow.
Excellent.
More Oilers chat. A lot to talk about. Fun weekend coming up here in the world of sports.
Do the Jays win the World Series tonight?
Yes, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to be optimistic. Before the series, I said Blue Jays in 7. But I think they're rolling. They got belief. Finish it off.
I didn't like the demeanor of the Dodgers in Game 5.
Well, yeah, they looked a little defeated. Maybe that was just Savage.
Could be, yeah.
But they the last 2 games were not close, really. I mean, the Blue Jays pretty much dominated and were in control.
Yep. Jays get it done tonight, I'll call it. Toronto's team that Canada loves dearly celebrates. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. Big thank you to Reed Wilkins for filling in for Dusty. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. Thank you for texting in. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you later. EST Afternoons coming up next with the Coop and Joaquin and Hernan. For Reed, I'm Tom. Ciao for now.